Hello and welcome. I am working on a Jane Austen journal, and I found out that she was a gardener, so I'm trying to make some seed packets today. I got a variety of images cut out of this Western garden book that has a lot of material, both line drawings and photos, and cut some of them out. So with these seed packets, I wanted them to be fairly thin copyweight paper to kind of simulate the seed packet feel. And let's have a look at how this was cut. So basically I took an 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper and cut it in half, and then cut off like maybe an inch or so. Then I folded it over about almost halfway, and then folded over the flap. Then I folded over the top and the bottom, and it really helps you use a scoreboard for this process. And you can see here where I've cut out the pieces. This is the side with both flaps, and on this side we have these rectangles cut out and these smaller squares with a little extra so that they don't touch each other as we are folding them over. So I'm going to be doing a combination of gluing these closed and gluing some of these on. In a couple cases I was thinking it might be cute to have these information stick underneath the flaps. So I'm going to do that. And I'm bringing over my mailer, this catalog that I'm using for a glue stick. You know, I've been looking at the prices of these Scotch glue sticks, and they have gone through the roof. They've gotten really expensive. Not really sure what I'm going to do once I run out of these larger sticks, and how I'm going to handle the glue inflation going on. So my thought was we would go in there enough to cover the page number, but it's a little tough to maneuver under these circumstances. I think that's close enough. All right, I know that it's covering the image a little bit, but I think I can live with that. Great. And then I'm just going to glue this closed. Do you guys find yourself using one glue when you are working on a project, or do you find yourself switching back and forth depending on what you're doing on a specific item? I think that I have, I try to use my glue stick whenever I can, and then I'm using something else when I can't be using the glue stick. It's kind of the strategy that I take. Let's see here. In some of these cases I want to try to do some layering or something like that. So let's see, I think on this one, this will go on the front, so that's okay. We can do that later, yeah, I can glue this closed. And you can see that the sizes were not exact. This flap is much wider than the others. Oops. Sticking it in my glue there. I think this one is going to go over, and these are going to go over. So I can close these up too. And I'm not sure which way is up, actually. I guess it doesn't really matter. I'm thinking in this case, I had in mind that this would go over the flaps. So there's not a whole lot of, you know, rhyme or reason to the order in which I am laying down these flaps. I think I'm just thinking about, you know, based on how I cut them, what might look best, and how I might utilize these flaps potentially. So cutting this kind of somewhat exact rectangles out of this paper is not really my favorite thing to do. So I just struggle to cut straight lines, generally speaking. So now I'm thinking in some of these cases I might want to do a little stamping where there's going to be a lot of this paper exposed. So maybe the front of this one and the back, and maybe the front of that one. And these two are going to have a lot more paper covering them, I think. So I've got some Victorian velvet and walnut stain, depending on which one. I'm thinking that this set from Tim Holtz Stampers Anonymous might have something that we can use that would make sense in this context. Maybe this large guy here. If you can believe, I haven't used this stamp yet. Just grabbing my stamping block. And what I'm really going for is just having some sort of background patterning to have, you know, some additional depth to the, you know, basically a collage. And here you can either have the stamp pad go to the stamp or have the stamp go to the stamp pad, kind of depending on the size. This one was kind of intermediate, so let's see if we can get this somewhat lined up. I know that the stamp didn't quite line up with the the grid on the stamp pad here, so that would probably help. I'm sure somebody noticed my struggles here. All right, I love how there's such a faint impression there. And shall we go with Victorian velvet on this one, maybe? We might still have some of the brown on here, so we'll see how that goes. And I am stamping on top of this catalog because it helps to have a bit of a cushion. Because if you don't, then there's a chance that some parts of this, it's harder for all the pieces to have contact with the paper, so it's much more likely that you'll get a cleaner impression if you have something underneath to help with that. So, okay, well, we can always add more of this kind of pattern if we wanted to going forward. Let's see which one. So this one, we already have this on here. I was thinking that this could go on top here, and then maybe I was thinking I would add a label and may leave room to potentially do some hand lettering. And I think that I will likely do some hand lettering on a separate piece of paper and then glue it on here, because the type of ink that I use will bleed through this very thin paper. So we'll just leave a little room for that and think through some of the stamps and other options I've got here. So I'm okay with having two labels, one that you could write on maybe. And I have a bunch of these that are from a combination of Junk Journal Studio, Tracy Fox, Shabby Dabby Doodah, a couple others in here, as well as like ones using hand stamping. So I'm thinking maybe something lighter would do here. Maybe green on green would be okay. I think I'd be okay with that. So although the sizing isn't ideal because this image is so small, it might help to have something in the background here. Let's see, what else do I have? I've got this piece of brown paper that's already had some hand stamping on it as well. Maybe that would help break it up. Maybe I'll flip it around here with the intention of having some sort of label with this text larger on top. So given how expensive all this glue is, I'm kind of wondering if I should start rationing this glue. Maybe by the time I run out and I need to go look around, we will have the prices change. I would imagine, I mean, if there is some petroleum in this, maybe that's the cause of the more immediate changes in price. I bought one of these sticks, doing a reorder, thinking that I was going to get 3 sticks, and only one arrived from Amazon, and I was really pretty unimpressed by that situation there. So I recommend everyone beware. So hopefully I will remember what this is when I go ahead and label it. I think I have the name on the back as well, so that will help. So that's not bad. I'll just leave this one to dry and see what our next one is going to be here. Let's go with maybe this one. I was thinking it would be fun to have this H wrap around. So maybe it would glue onto the front here and just have some of this wrap over. I think that would be fun. Or this could be the back and it'll wrap over. I guess that would make more sense. I wonder when the style of seed packet became more consistent. I wonder if that was like a Sears Roebuck kind of thing, or if I would imagine that people had been putting seeds inside of little, packets of paper for a very long time, but may not have become a commercial product until later on. So I'm interested in knowing if there are any seed packet historians out there, what that might have looked like. So that is really cute. I am loving this edge of H going around. And then we can put this on here. I was thinking, I cut this off. It says special effect. I think it was special effects. So maybe I can get a little label to go on there to help with that. So I do hope that this will look okay, despite the fact that it's like got a lot of glossiness to it. So it might not look, super Victorian era or Regency era, but let's see. I think I saw one that I liked that was like roundish. Maybe this one. Yeah, maybe I can carefully glue that on there. Great. I don't know. I love it. I might add something else here to kind of break up the lack of distinct color between these two, because they kind of fade together a little bit. So I'll keep an eye out for opportunities like that. Let's move on to my next one here. This guy, I had this paper that had some of this orange text, so I thought that would work out very well. And another situation where the character might be able to go around to the other side. And this additional information about this plant, maybe I'll slip in here for future use, maybe putting on a tag or something. So this will go around and this will be in front. I'm curious to know if other people find these glue books really helpful, or if, what kind of surface you like to glue on. I guess I've got a lot of glue questions. Inquiring gluers want to know what everyone's doing about their glue problems. So I know that I just stamped all of this. Oh well. I guess we're covering that up. Maybe I'll do some more brown stamping later. And hopefully this will fold over okay. Yep. Need to grab myself a wet wipe. All right, so here on the back I had this lovely orange background that I thought would work really well. And then here I also have saved a little bit of this orange stripe that came from the paper that I cut this out of. So maybe we could find a nice label that would fit in here, and perhaps a background to help extend the, help provide some contrast between here and there. So I think Jane Austen predated the sewing pattern, but I think this coloration could be really handy. I think that one might be too dark. This one might be okay. Oh, maybe this one will work over here. Might add that there or somewhere. It's a little tricky trying to find a solution on the spot when you're trying to talk and keep everyone entertained at the same time. Maybe this could work. That's not bad. I'm thinking this could also work, but it's kind of really a cardstock, so it might not be the best to have something so heavy on there. So I think I'll go with this guy and have it just go across like that. And here we are with the hopes that I can cut relatively straight. Does that look like? Nope. Oh. Well, I think that's maybe I should have chosen a jaunty angle and made that problem go away, but oh well, here we are. Don't know which side I would want on here, and whether would I want to glue that on first. Maybe I'd want to glue this one on first. I can empathize with Tina at Shabby Dabby Doodah liking to use the glue gun because it's so quick and not having to wait. It's both quick in terms of how quickly it sets, and also it's quick in terms of getting it on there. Not that it would make sense to do so in this particular situation, but, you know, that is a consideration. So here I've preserved some of that stamping there. Could probably find a nice label to go with this. But maybe I'll wait and see what I'm doing with the larger text here before I decide. I think that'll be okay. I think that'll be fine regardless of what I'm doing here. Or this one. I guess this fits all the green going on. Yep. I really like having labels where there is space for somebody to do their own writing. I really like being able to add some text even in, you know, even in these random nooks and crannies like this. All right. One more. This one is way more open-ended. I've got two small images. Maybe I could make it look like, I don't know if that would make sense. Maybe I'll put that one on the back with a little bit of a collaginess and leave this front and center on the front. So I think I should have room for putting some text on there in one orientation or another. Wondering what which one would fit okay here. It seems like it's kind of a cool shaded, so I don't want to go too brown. Maybe this one. Maybe I'll put it over in this No, I'm just going to go ahead and do that. I'm going to go ahead and commit. And then with that other faux postage stamp image, I'm going to want to have some sort of something in the background there. Is this enough contrast? I don't think the shape really works there. Maybe this is where I'm going to draw in the sewing pattern and have some of that on there. All right. Let's see. Well, the sewing pattern, it's hard to figure out which side I want to be, whether I want to be gluing onto the pattern itself or gluing it onto the substrate it's going to go on. There's a bit of wrinkliness. I think that's okay. Can do some hand tearing here and make this, you know, more of a collage-y look. And drop that stamp on there. Yeah. I'm liking the contrast that this brownish paper is providing, and I don't mind having it go on the writing, but maybe that will be, maybe we can go here. Awesome. So we've got this one. This one. This guy. And one more. Here we are. May have to lay this under something since it seems to have, you know, warped a little bit from the liquid glue. All right, thanks for joining me.